Hi. So today I'm going to tell you the story of the Decatur House. The Decatur House is one of the oldest houses in Washington, D.C. It was built in 1818 for Stephan Decatur and his wife. It's currently a museum showcasing African American history in an effort to distract tourists from the house's grim past. You see, very often when people would visit the house, they would experience extreme stomach pains during the tour and sometimes after the tour. Their abdominal muscles would cramp up so hard and so violently, it would send them a jolt of pain. That was so severe that they would have to reach out and grab some nearby furniture to steady themselves so they wouldn't collapse onto the floor. Now, in severe cases, it would actually send them to the bathroom and they would end up vomiting. And in the worst case scenarios, they would actually have symptoms of internal bleeding. This was alarming, naturally. They would think, well, maybe I've got food poisoning or a virus, so they would see their doctor. Their doctor couldn't explain it. There is no medical reason for them to be having the stomach pains that they were having. Well, the unexplained pain that they were experiencing was the paranormal result of the ghostly influence of the late Stephan Decatur over the property. You see, he was shot in the stomach, died from his wounds during a duel with Commodore James Barron. Now, what would cause two naval leaders to duel? Well, back in 1807, there was an incident at sea. Apparently, Commodore James Barron was in command of a ship, the USS Chesapeake, and he was attacked by the British Navy, the HMS Leopard, and the James Barron basically did not put up much of a fight. He surrendered quite soon. The British were looking for deserters, and they tried 4 of the sailors on the Chesapeake and hung one of them, and the other 3 were subject to severe discipline. Well, the U.S. Navy was embarrassed by all of this, so they decided they had to have an investigation and court-martial James Barron for his cowardice and lack of leadership. Well, on that jury trial, on the jury of that trial was Stephan Decatur. And during that trial, James Barron was stripped 5 years of his duty. Well, that didn't sit well with James and this brood over the years. In 1820, James Barron, still begrudged, tracked down Commodore Decatur and challenged him to a duel. Well, during this duel, Stephan Decatur sustained a fatal injury to the gut. However, it wasn't instant. He was rushed to his bedroom instantly. Doctors came in. They tried heroically to save him. They tried to stitch the wound up at least 3 different times to get the bleeding to stop. They could not get the bleeding to stop. His blood just kept soaking through the bed sheets. And he was in so much excruciating pain for 2 days that at one point he was heard yelling out, I did not know that a man could feel so much pain. So you can imagine, well, I can't imagine actually. After 2 days of this horrific suffering, he passed from the pain and the injuries. His wife was inconsolable. She had to be sedated. and she never really fully recovered from the loss of her husband. Well, almost immediately, people started to notice an apparition of Stephan Decatur in the upstairs window, watching the street, almost as if he was watching for James Barron to come down the street. Well, this apparition was happening so often and was so unsettling that they decided to wall up the window. And that didn't really stop the haunting. It has been noticed, some people have noticed, they've seen his ghost heading out the back door early in the morning with pistols in hand. So, sounds like he's trying to relive this duel over and over. Maybe to change the outcome, maybe to clear his name. All I know is that I hope, we all hope, that he was able to free himself from the pain that he was experiencing in those 2 days. And he is truly resting at peace by now.